NASCAR is officially back, which means, we've got a lot to talk about between every race. And today we are rounding up everything you might have maybe missed from Daytona and then some as well. And we're going to start off actually with Brian Vickers has returned to Twitter for better or for worse. That's bold right there. I mean, he's had a bit of maybe his name's been involved in a little bit of drama as of late. Not maybe the best move to come back, Brian, but you know what? As bad as you look right now, that's some bravery right there. And I tell you what, you should have seen the look on my face when I opened Twitter and saw he was actually on my timeline. Not for the other reasons that we've seen in the past few weeks. We've got some Carson v. Carson beef. Carson Hocevar and Carson Ware in like the weirdest beef I've ever seen. We saw after the O'Reilly race on Saturday evening. Well, Carson Ware comes up to Carson Hocevar and they lash it out a little bit. Well, very one-sided. One guy is angry. The other guy does not seem to care about the other guy being upset with him. And something over the end of the race and Carson like running into their car or something while they were trying to like avoid some chaos. Carson actually talked about it on his Twitch stream. So here's a clip.
So I thought it was funny that he was mad about his basically they had to pay, they got to pay their bills and everything, and that their stuff's, I tore their stuff up, but then I looked at their car after, and I was like, okay, but the nose is knocked off the thing. Like, there's a hole in the nose, so, like, that, I think, is a lot more expensive than, not even a scuff mark.
There's a wreck in turn 2. Caution.
Yeah, I gotta be cautious. But, like, whatever. Like, I was just like, what a weird deal. Yeah, I understand some people just aren't racers, and they just want to have it in their Instagram bio or say they are racers. So, like, if you want to ride on the back, whatever, right? Like, if you're not any good, just like, you just want to be a race car driver, then, take care of the stuff. You know what I mean? But
now, Carson Ware took to Twitter in what is now a deleted tweet and kind of like talked about it. I don't know why he deleted this, but he went on to talk about how like other cars like passed him, and then like the other Carson did not pass him, and like I don't understand this beef at all here. I mean, I guess I see what Carson Hocevar is saying in his clip, and I also kind of see what Carson Ware is saying at the same time as well about them just trying to stay in the back. But your car was like already like banged up, and like Carson, did he like actually smash into him, or did he just maybe like give him a little bump? I don't know, but clearly I don't think it was much worse off after what Carson Hocevar did, even though like I was looking around, I couldn't find anything about actual footage of what happened between the two drivers. Denny Hamlin has proposed a new idea for the Clash next year, and that's returning it to Daytona with just like 20 cars and using it as an opportunity for them to actually experiment with a new super speedway package and basically use the Clash of Daytona as a way to fix super speedway racing. And I personally was not a big fan of the idea of going back to Daytona, but after hearing Denny Hamlin's idea, I'm actually fully 100% in support of this idea and would love this, because super speedway racing in next gen, although I thoroughly enjoyed the Daytona 500, I made a whole video on that and explained why I enjoyed it. It's still the next gen super speedway races suck compared to Gen 6. Not only that, short tracks, road courses also suck compared to Gen 6. The next gen car is only better at one type of track than their previous generation. Anyways, aside from that, Denny said that they could use that as an opportunity, and I think that's a really good idea. The Clash, it doesn't really have a whole lot of meaning to it, so it's almost like we could kind of use it as an all-star race. Like, let's use it to try and experiment and maybe push our racing in a better direction, and I think super speedways are in dire need. excluding Atlanta because for whatever reason Atlanta produces way better racing, but Daytona and Talladega, we've suffered the same thing since next gen came in, and just not even the fuel saving issue. That's one issue, but the other issue is just the racing is not good, overall compared to what we've had previously, with everyone just kind of being stuck and there's not enough space to build these big runs. Although we did kind of see a little bit of it there towards the end of the 500, but I think this is a great idea from Denny Hamlin. We've got a couple juicy ones on the way, but before we do that, I want to go through the paint scheme of the week. And that is going into Atlanta, Ross Chastain's #1 Wendy's Chevrolet. This is a beautiful paint scheme. You got like the checkered kind of design with like the pigtail for like the Wendy's girl hair. I don't know if she has a name, but like it, I never thought I would like something like that, but it looks really, really good. Who could have guessed that? Kyle Sykes absolutely cooking. This is a beautiful looking race car, and I'm sure it's going to look fantastic under the lights as well, potentially depending on how long the race in Atlanta goes. There might be some weather impacting the race this weekend as well, so we'll see what happens there, but it's going to look absolutely fantastic regardless. Following the Daytona 500, in the post-race interviews, Daniel Suarez was giving an interview in Spanish, and then the biggest Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fan actually got involved and had this to say. 47, man. Also put his hands on Daniel Suarez. I hope that's a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fan. That doesn't change anything. If that was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fan or political direction, it does not matter. It doesn't change anything in this situation. You just came up, and as a fan that gets, he might not even be a fan. He might have just, been one of those guys that just ended up getting an opportunity to be there and really abused his privilege. But he was there in the pit lane after the race and interrupts Daniel Suarez's interview. So there's already your, #1 do not do. And then the second thing is he puts his hands on Daniel Suarez as he's walking away. And this right here is how you ruin everything for real fans of the sport, because clearly someone that does this crap is not a fan of the sport, and it's going to ruin stuff for like you and for me with the access that we can get, of course, with the VIPs and those kind of tickets and whatnot. So absolutely embarrassed himself, and he probably felt really cool at the time, but I mean, I really wish there was an alternate timeline where like Daniel just kind of clocked him in the nose. I think that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, it doesn't matter what the message was. You interrupted an interview of a driver and put your hands on him. And Mike Ford came out and said that they are investigating and trying to find who the individual was. And hopefully they do find them and they get banned from any NASCAR race going forward. I think that would be a very good outcome here. Here's a weird and small subtle one. Ram has made some changes to the front grille. They have made the outline of the Ram logo now yellow. And this was a critique I had in my watch-along stream last week of the Daytona truck race, was the fact that I could not see the writing of Ram on the grille. And I was like, if I'm a casual fan or like I don't know much about vehicles, I'm going to look at that truck and have no clue what that is. Of course, for the, hardcore fans, we know exactly what we're looking at, but there's a lot of people that don't know what they're looking at as well, and yeah, I would have had no idea. So I think also it just looks better. The yellow outline looks really good, so I really like this change, and I think it'll stand out a lot more come Atlanta this weekend. We've had this AI slop photo of Michael Jordan making the rounds here, unfortunately, after winning the Daytona 500 as an owner. Man, we have so many pictures of Michael Jordan celebrating the Daytona 500 win, even with his hands on the trophy, raising it with Tyler Reddick and celebrating. And instead, we've gone with this AI slop, and not only like casual people, but people in our sport as well, in our community, even spreading this around as if it's it's real, when it's clearly not. They don't even have the right logo on the clothing and whatnot. So I saw this picture and immediately I was like, when did NASCAR suddenly get locker rooms, right? and then I realized, oh my God, there's a very overwhelming amount of people that are starting to actually think this is a real photo, and it doesn't help when our own community is spreading it around as if it's a real picture. Our final juicy topic coming from Daytona weekend is Natalie Decker, and it's not because she admitted to being groomed, it's because like a few days before that was certainly a topic. And what I thought was funny about that, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to, is Matt Tift, like his podcast. She was on the podcast. I'm sure you guys know the controversy. We're not going to talk about the controversy, but he went on and talked about how people are blowing it out of proportion. And I'm like, dude, you're the one that made the clip and like talked about, the grooming and then posted it on your social media, and also since has been deleted. There's a theme here today of deleted posts on Twitter. But I'm like, don't walk back on it when you or someone else edited it and then posted it on Twitter. Nonetheless, the topic here is Daytona, where she had about 16 seconds to slow down for a crash, and she somehow still ended up in the accident, and then proceeded to blame Sam Mayer, who had an absolutely destroyed vehicle with no control, and he slides up the racetrack in front of her, and she slams right into the side of him, and then proceeds to say this.
Why the did he roll off the track? Who the was that? That pisses me off so much. That hurt.
I don't think I really need to say anything. Now, I will say whoever was behind her was also cooking pretty hard into the frame as well, so they weren't doing much better, but fortunately they didn't slam into anything, unlike her. So to just go on and be on the radio, like if you are a race car driver and you understand how racing works, you know that a car out of control has very well got a strong chance of sliding back up across the racetrack, and the fact that you weren't slowed down, the crash happened 16 seconds before you slammed into that car. Does the spot, like, who's telling you this crash is happening? You need to be slowing down well before then. Like, by the time she got there, she should have been anybody should have been just crawling through there, not at that speed where you still had literally the ability to absolutely demolish your car and your race was over. Yeah, I mean, what do you even say? And there you have it for this week's what I'm going to call the Free Pass segment, where I basically catch you up to speed and what's been going on, maybe stuff that isn't talked about as much. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below on some of these topics, and I'll see you guys this weekend from the Atlanta Motor Speedway race, Trucks O'Reilly Cup Series action, all on track. I might be doing some watch-along streams, we'll see, but yeah, I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.